Hi, I'm Earl Rector. Enough about me. Good morning and welcome back for another episode of Mr. Mulcher Man. Today we're going to be working on a project that's a little different than just the standard land clearing. I'm actually going to be cleaning up a fence line that has been overgrown with cedar. This isn't a property line fence. This is a partition fence within the property that the client wants to go ahead and completely take out so they can put in a new fence. And as you can see, we got a little bit of work cut out for us today. The tools that I'll be utilizing today are a chain in the event that some of the T-posts are stubborn. What happens sometimes is over the course of time, roots and so forth will grow over and around those T-posts, and they're almost impossible to pull out utilizing the T-post puller that I've got here, and so I'll resort to the chain with the use of the grapple. I've got my crowbar, my wire cutters. Again, there's the T-post. I've switched out to the grapple onto the skid steer. This is the mulcher that I'll be utilizing perhaps later today, but hopefully with the combination of all these tools, I'll get this done today. Okay, just kind of wanted to show you more closely what it is that I'm doing. I'm just cutting these fence line wires that are holding the barbed wire to the T-posts, so that when I come back there and start ripping out the fence, it won't take the T-posts with it. And as I suspected, there are some T-posts that are, this is a good example. This tree has grown right next to this T-post, and if I had to guess, the roots from this cedar have probably completely entangled the bottom of that, so that T-post isn't coming out with just a T-post puller. It's going to require a little bit more motivation. Hopefully I'll get this whole piece of cedar, or this cedar trunk, out all at once, and the T-post with it, and maybe we can salvage the T-post. I'm just looking for enough so you can see, I don't know if you can see, but how the tree is actually grown around the T-post. So this one may be somewhat of a problem. There's one more wire right there. See if I can get to that. Not sure what good that's going to do, but we're going to try. We're just going to keep working down. And this is one that's probably going to be salvageable. It's a beautiful day to be doing this. We had a little bit of rain come through the area last night, so it's still pretty cool for May in Oklahoma to be out doing this. Again, I'm just trying to separate the barbed wire from the T-posts. And also included in step one, of course, is removing the barbed wire from the corner posts. We obviously want to save those. you'll see here's the stump of a really large cedar tree. And the way that this opportunity came about, I've been doing some clearing for this client on their land. And when I first got here, the cedar trees were so predominant in this fence line, you couldn't even see the next field over and what was in it. So the first thing they had me do was just kind of come through here and clear out or clean up as best I could without getting into the fence these cedars that ran along here. And so since that time, the client has just gone ahead and decided to, let's just pull the whole thing and they'll redo it. So you can see that I've reached the corner. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to free this up. And then I'm going to cut the wire right here at this corner. Make sure I'm not cutting the property line. This is the property line fence here and runs up that way, so I certainly don't want to cut the wrong wire. So let's just cut there, cut there. Now they've got a property line fence tied to this one, so let's do this. We'll cut here and here, and that way this fence line is still intact. Let's cut there. This is not an exact science, but you definitely want to give it a little thought. All right, so now the fence line, had one more to cut. The fence line is now about to be free from this corner post, and I've already cut out starting at the other end. So there we go. So the next step at this point is going to be firing up the skid steer, getting the grapple, and start ripping out as much of this as that I can. And like I said, the transformation will begin. Another thing that's kind of common in what I do is I'm obviously today around livestock, and just for those of you that may be watching that have livestock of your own and you ever need my services, I'll just let you know I do understand these are assets and to be treated as such. Good morning. I love this time of year. There's a lot of baby cows running around everywhere, and they have crossed the fence where I cut down on the other end. They're so curious. They're wanting to know if I'm here to feed them or what exactly am I really doing here. Unfortunately, I don't have any food for you, but they are checking out the mulcher. Nope. And they haven't been over this side. In fact, the next project, if you will, after I get this fence line cleaned up, is to start clearing all of this in here. We're making really good progress here, and I thought I would take just a moment. If you've never seen a T-post puller in action, I'm going to show you right now. Basically just utilizes leverage to pull the T-post out through this linked U-joint and this metal pin that kind of slides through. So basically what you do is you fasten the U-shape where the pin is going to slide in at the front of the T-post where the notches are, and you're basically going to operate it just like look like it, but it is coming up. Well, it's kind of stubborn, but we'll get in there. All right. And with the use of this tool, oftentimes you can save your T-post and reuse it. Okay, so I just finished pulling all of the T-posts that were in this fence line that I was able to remove using the T-post puller. But now, obviously there were several in here that there were just too into the ground for whatever reason. Like I said, most likely roots have grown across the bottom of the T-post that kind of has that V-shaped hook on it, and I was unable to pull those out with the T-post puller. So now we're going to step up the game a little bit and use the chain and the grapple and see if we can't pull all the 5 or 6 that are left utilizing this method. So I'll show you how we do that. Okay, there's nothing really scientifically difficult about this, and if you have a better way, please leave your comment at the bottom. But basically, just wrap this chain around here. So pretty much all the slack is gone. The other side, wrap it through the grapple. Hopefully it doesn't come off before I get back in. Happens sometimes. Hang it up, do it again. Another one. This one you probably can't see. Looks like somebody came in here and cut this down at one point, but this post is really close to this stump, and if I had to guess, the roots have grown all around this thing. And we'll see if we can muscle this one out of here. This one may be a little stubborn. Do some extra wraps, and you got to get that chain pretty tight around the post itself for this method to really work well for you. Without that coming off, let's try. Let's see what happens. So one thing that I'm going to show you right here is that some of the T-posts either were bent in the process of clearing the fence row, or they may have been bent when they were installed. Really nobody knows, but they're still salvageable. The trick is finding the right tree to help manipulate the metal back into the direction you want it to go. So in this particular case, I found a perfect tree. It's a V-shaped and it'll use, or I can use the leverage to straighten these out. So let me kind of demonstrate. So here's one. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of bent pretty good. We'll just stick it in there, and I'm going to use my frame here. Not as heavy as I used to be. Kind of straighten that up just a little bit. That's a whole lot better. I don't know if you can see that, but that one's salvageable. Got another one here. Again, they're just slightly bent. You know, if you can see that, they're just slightly bent. A little bit of love here. You can put it back. Maybe not new, but darn near. Certainly where you can reuse them again. Might have to play with it a couple of times to get what you want, but again, you can see that's much improved, and it costs everything going up so much. Every dollar counts. Got one more. This one looks like it was broken off before it was put into the ground. I may not be able to, I don't know, let's see. Nope. I'm either going to do this or it's going to make a good blooper. Not bad. That one's reusable. So there you go. So again, if you've got some T-posts that are slightly bent at the end, you can use that method to straighten them out. One thing you do have to be careful when you're doing this kind of work is obviously keep an eye open for the barbed wire. That can be a bad thing if it gets tangled up in your rig, in your tracks. I'll get these started from this side. From this side. We'll come back from the other side and rip those out. Come on. Break free. It's coming. There it goes. This one here. Oh yeah. It's interesting how the root system on some of these are pretty deep, and for others it's really not deep at all. these over a little bit too. Okay, and now we'll hit these from the other side. We've got some wire that will end up ripping out with these as well, so let me kind of go around this. So we got a T-post over here. We are going to try to save these as much as we can. Take a few passes at that one. That one's ready to come out. Shake off some of the dirt here. Let's get some of these others out of here. Just like that. Now the wire's just holding some of those up. See if we can get this one, motivate this one to come out a little bit. Charging rhinoceros. I'm being a little stubborn, but we'll get her. Might have to come one more time from the other side. Oh, might have done it right there. There it goes. Some of the dirt off of there. Well, it came out a whole lot easier there. Like I said, I'll come back and I'll regrade this area. Came out pretty good there. So let's scoop these up. We'll take the barbed wire with it. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's the end of it. We'll just kind of rake this up along with the having to be very, very careful with this barbed wire. It's wrapped around this little tree, which just happens to be right around if I can get this thing out without hitting the said there's a T-post inside of this thing, and I don't think it's gonna. Another, I don't know if this is a 4 or 5 line fence. It's hard to say because that bottom one is buried. And I think this was portions of it anyway were 5 wire fence. Okay, we're looking good so far. Grapple full here, so I'm now gonna take this to our brush pile. Some wire right there. Oftentimes the best way to do this is to don't go charging forward, rather kind of back up. Again, that way you always keep your wire out in front of you. Right where we want it. So at this point, I've got the entire fence line, the old fence removed, all of the tree stumps gone, and I just went back through here with the mulcher and cleaned it up, and I'll let you see for yourself what a difference. So now they can come back and put in a new partition fence without any obstacles. And again, just turned out really, really, really good. Well, thanks for watching. Until next time.